Is this about the potential for Netflix? Is this about a change in behavior, or is it just this one service that's getting this? Because you're not seeing this with Hulu. You're not seeing this with Amazon Prime.
I think what Netflix is doing is leading through great content, and you're seeing basically a sea change to the way consumers watch and engage in content nowadays. So this is not a bad thing for the networks. This is not an awful thing for other content makers. This is just a way to affirm that those that make great content, consumers will come to it. And if you give them an opportunity to watch it their way, they're going to reward you for it.
How can this... You're totally wrong. How can this not be bad for the networks?
It's not bad for the networks because what you're doing, Corey, is you're putting a premium on good content. What it's showing by the show is Orange is the New Black, House of Cards. You're saying, look, if you invest in this, HBO's been doing this for some time. This is not a new thing, you know. And you have some of the best television we've ever seen in history. We're seeing on television now. The bar is being raised by superior content performance, and now we have another way to deliver it. This is a wonderful thing.
Jared, what do you make of the success that Netflix has had in terms of, you know, these shows? A lot of them have been good. Yes, they've had their Marco Polos, but, you know, House of Cards, Orange is the New Black, Daredevil's been well received.
Yep. Well, I think that, to Keith's point, is that Netflix knows in order to win the game, they have to have great content. And so that's great, and they'll continue to do that. But the other thing is the phenomenon in the media marketplace is that we're living in this untethered universe. And Netflix was the first mover, if you think about it, in this space to talk to consumers and invite them to watch content in a way that, to us, was somewhat untraditional. Now, with the millennial generation leading the pack as far as trends, and now Gen Z coming up right behind them, they are in the prime position to win the audience numbers.
My little girls, who are 8 and 10 years old, do not know how to run the cable box, but they know how to get on Netflix.
Same ages, same thing.
It's something to see. Timothy, you know, when you talk to the Netflix guys, when you talk to Reed, what's interesting is that they really describe a technology company. They don't sound like you're talking to Bob Iger or somebody that, you know, these guys in the TV business. It sounds like you're talking to someone who's really thinking about tech. When you look at it from a technology standpoint, what do you see that Netflix has an advantage over its competitors?
Well, you know, I think one of the things they've done is they've built a platform, as Keith mentioned, for creating great content. So it's not just the ability to stream, you know, I'd say in many ways the ability to stream content over broadband networks. That's almost commodity. What they've actually really built is a creation platform. And I think that's kind of the hidden secret sauce in Netflix. The ability. Well, in essence, I think what they've done is they have re-architected the content creation industry for television, for broadcast. And I think in the background, I don't think it's an accident that we're starting to see great shows coming from a Netflix. I think they've assembled, in essence, a team of great writers. They've built all the technology components beforehand to deploy. So the way I look at it is they've become this great content factory, and the technology aspects of it that we first looked at Netflix for are really commodity, and they've really become a great content house.
I don't understand how they've done such a good job of it. I mean, you know, ABC, for example, is a company on TV that couldn't buy a hit, and now they've got a really strong lineup. You see this over and over again in the history of television and in film. Keith, what are they doing that's so right?
I think they're...
Or am I just ignoring their failures?
No, well, you're ignoring their failures. They have more at-bats. You mentioned Marco Polo earlier. Now, Marco Polo wasn't a big success, but if you look at it, it was beautifully shot. It had a lot of things going for it. Didn't quite hit it on the story line. You flip it and you look at House of Cards. It's a different, a very intriguing story. They have worked hard to deliver solid, well-done content, and they are getting high-quality filmmakers, high-quality directors, and high-quality writers to bring them their best stuff first. They're becoming a first stop, you know, and their process from getting from idea to screen is shorter than the networks.
Exactly.
So that's an opportunity.
Tell me about that.
Well, yeah, it's absolutely correct. And, you know, you heard the expression, the harder you work, the luckier you get. The more you invest, the luckier you get. And the fact of the matter is Netflix is the premium buyer of content. For the first time ever in the history of television, the major networks did not spend all their pilot development money. It's because of places like Netflix and Amazon over-investing and buying the content. And where I come from, the Hollywood community is all clamoring to get in front of Netflix and Amazon because they know they'll overpay for the content, frankly, because it's more important to bring the viewers to their platform and get subscribers.
But that content cost is a thing that I worry about. When I look at the financials for Netflix and I find that their contingencies that they owe for content is so huge, over $9 billion, I think, in the last quarter, $9.8 billion, and that's a minimum cost. It's not on the balance sheet, but it's something they're going to have to pay. And second anecdote. So I own a bunch of camera trucks in Hollywood that are so busy right now because everyone's working all year long. It's not just about pilot season anymore. Are the content costs, with not a lot of time, Keith, let me give you the last one here, are the content costs going to start to hurt Netflix down the line where they can't pay for all this stuff?
When they're buying all new stuff, absolutely they're going to hurt. However, they're developing their own originals. So when you develop your own originals, you have the ability to control your content costs. They make smart investments on how they build out their stages, how they get the actors to go. They make the actors a part of the whole production. They hold their costs down. They are ahead of the game. They are the future.
Tim Jones, last word?
That's exactly it. I mean, they're going to get economy of scale. Right now it's a land grab, so they're paying a premium. But as Keith mentioned, at some point they will begin to control the economics.